Hi, everybody. Today, we're happy, that we can have the gentleman Justin from Monash to tell us something about Monash. 各位大家好啊，我係Gary， 就係IASC 嘅 Gary 啦。咁我哋今日好開心咧，請到Justin， 就係Monash 嘅嗰邊澳洲嘅代表啦，同我哋分享下關於Monash 嘅課程啊。咁就仲有，如果大家有咩問題咧，就記住提出個問題，我哋盡量咧喺個 PPT 之後咧，就10分鐘個 Q&A 嗰陣時咧，就會盡量答大家嘅問題㗎啦。Okay, so Justin, are you ready? Over to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Gary. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Justin. I'm from Monash University. I'm the regional manager for Hong Kong. So I'm very excited to be here today with Gary and all of you to talk briefly about Monash University, and we'll have a Q&A section at the end of it where you can ask me more specific questions. So let's get started. Now, a bit about Monash University. Now, at a quick glance, we are the largest university in Australia in terms of student numbers. So we have the most students throughout the world among all the Australian universities. We have 5 campuses in Melbourne, and most of you will be familiar. We are a member of the Group of 8. Now, it's also important to know, remember, this year, Monash is celebrating our 60th anniversary. So compared to a lot of our Group of 8 university partners, we are actually significantly younger than most of them. And it is amazing to then, when you look back at how we have progressed in our global ranking, within these 60 years. We have been consistently ranked within the top 1% of universities in the world. And in the next few slides, what I'll do is I'll highlight some of the key areas that Monash has ranked really well in. Okay, firstly, the overall university ranking. So the QS World University Ranking 2022 was freshly released in about 2 weeks ago, and we are ranked number 58 overall in the world. And at the same time, we're very excited to let you know our pharmacy and pharmaceutical science studies is ranked number 2 in the world. This is an amazing achievement. We have Oxford University ranking number 1, and we are number 2 in the world, and number 3 is Harvard University. So that's the kind of caliber of universities that we are competing in, when you look at it from that perspective. And one of our other important areas that's really popular with Hong Kong students is education. Our education is ranked number 12 in the world, and among the Australian universities, we are the top ranking universities in education in Australia. And of course, nursing, another popular area for Hong Kong students. Our nursing is ranked number 6 in the world. And once again, among most of the Australian universities, we would be the top ranking university in this particular discipline. Now, Monash is a big university. Like I mentioned at the start, we have 10 faculties. So I'm going to briefly introduce some of the key highlights in each of the faculties, and I'll focus more on our Faculty of Medicine, Nursing and Health Sciences, which is typically the more popular faculty among Hong Kong students. So let's start off with our design discipline. So within our Faculty of Design, there's essentially 3 main study areas, or 4 main degrees students can look at. There's a Bachelor of Fine Arts, there's a Bachelor of Visual Arts, and there's a Bachelor of Design. And last but not least, there's our Architecture Studies, okay? And of course, within the Faculty of Arts, our main degree is the Bachelor of Arts, where students have the flexibility to select from 39 specialization areas. What's unique about this faculty is students actually have the option to do a bachelor and master's packaging, where you actually finish both a bachelor and a master's degree within 4 years duration, okay? Okay, hang on. Okay. Next up is our Faculty of Business. So within our Faculty of Business, the best way to look at it is essentially we offer 3 general degrees. So we have a Bachelor of Business, we have a Bachelor of Commerce, and we have a Bachelor of Business Administration. They are all located in 3 different campuses. And then between 2 of our key campuses, we offer 7 different specialization degrees towards a Bachelor of Accounting, Bachelor of Banking and Finance, Bachelor of Economics, Bachelor of Finance, and Bachelor of International Business, and Bachelor of Marketing. Now, next up, our Bachelor of Education. Now, in Monash, we would have offered one of the broadest range of coverage in terms of specialization area that you can pick from education. So within our Bachelor of Education honors, it's a 4 years degree. You can essentially pick from specialization all the way from early childhood, so essentially from 0 years all the way up to 18 years old. So from early childhood all the way up to high schools or secondary schools, okay? And the specialization you can choose from, essentially you can choose a combination of early childhood and primary education. You can pick just single primary education, or you can pick a combination of primary and secondary education, and also primary and secondary health and physical education. So if you're interested in teaching PE classes, okay? And we also have secondary health with physical education, and last but not least, you can do a secondary education as a double degree as well. Now, next up is our Faculty of Engineering. So within our Faculty of Engineering, we offer a Bachelor of Engineering honors. It's a 4 years program, and we offer this whole range of specialization that you can pick from. So the good thing about our engineering degree is the first year is a common year. So regardless of what you intended to study, you will get a bit of an exposure to all the different aspects of the different specialization that you see on the screen. By the end of year 1, you will need to then decide which is the specialization that you want to go into. So that happens from year 2 all the way through to year 4 of your studies. Some of the areas that's really popular with Hong Kong students typically will be chemical engineering, civil engineering, electrical and computer systems engineering, mechanical engineering, and robotics engineering. So these are popular with Hong Kong students, but at the same time, in terms of career outcome, is also highly sought after here in Australia as well. Now, next up, our Faculty of IT. So within the Faculty of IT, essentially we offer 4 main degrees. So on one part of the screen, we have a Bachelor of Information Technology, and these are the different areas that students can major from. So we offer, you can major in Business Information Systems, Computer Networks and Security, Games Development, Interactive Media, Software Development, and there's 9 minor options area. And we also offer a Bachelor of Computer Science, where students can then choose to major either within an Advanced Computer Science or Data Science. And at the same time, we also offer a Bachelor of Software Engineering honors, which is a 4 years program. And last but not least, a Bachelor of Applied Data Science within this faculty. So all the courses are accredited by Australian Computer Society. Now, next up, the most popular faculty for most Hong Kong students. Let me just move this a bit so that I can see clearly. Okay, essentially, before I go into what are the courses that we offer, these are some of the key projected growth on the allied health careers in Australia. Okay, so if you're considering one of these options, you'll be looking at some of the projected growth on where are the popular growth areas. So obviously OT and PT, the 2 popular options among Hong Kong students, there's a very strong growth in those areas. Psychologists, during this pandemic and also post-pandemic, we're anticipating there's going to be a huge growth in the number of psychologists required. So that's another area that I would highly recommend students to consider as an alternative career. And obviously, nursing has always been very popular here, even though there's only an 11.7% growth. But you're pretty much guaranteed a job in Australia in nursing upon graduation, just because there's a constant shortages of nursing in Australia. And obviously, we do offer a 4 years Bachelor of Nursing and midwifery course. So that's combined with being a midwife. So for those students who are looking at that, we do offer that 4 years degree option. Now, interestingly, we do, social workers will be one of the biggest growth area at almost 30%, which when you think about it, given the situation that the pandemic has created, it is quite understandable why, it has resulted in this huge growth and demand. So in Monash, what we offer essentially is you go into a Bachelor of Health Science or any of our undergraduate degree in the Faculty of Health Sciences or Faculty of Science. And then from there, you then progress into a 2-year Masters of Social Science in order to become an accredited social worker here in Victoria and throughout Australia. And of course, last but not least, general practitioners, which is, the medicine programs for people who want to become a doctor in the future. So which are the kind of degrees that we offer? As I mentioned before, we offer a very wide range here in Monash University. So we do offer a Bachelor of Biomedical Science, a Bachelor of Health Science, the Bachelor of Medical Science, and Doctor of Medicine, okay, MBBS. And we offer our 3 years Bachelor of Nursing degree in 2 different campuses that you can choose from. And we also offer the 4 years Bachelor of Nursing and Midwifery. And for students who are interested in being a dietitian, you can go into the 3 years Bachelor of Nutrition Science. And upon completion, you go into 1.5 years of the Masters of Dietetics. Okay, and obviously our 4 years Bachelor of Occupational Therapy is a very popular course with Hong Kong students, and we also offer a 3 years Bachelor of Paramedicine. So essentially, being working in an ambulance, and helping people when you arrive at the scene of an accident. Okay, and we also have Bachelor of Physiotherapy, which is 4 years. That's the next popular course among Hong Kong students. And we offer a Bachelor of Psychology Honours, which is a very big growth area here in Australia in terms of career outcome. And we have a Bachelor of Public Health and also a Bachelor of Radiation Science and a Bachelor of Radiography and Medical Imaging. Okay, so among most of the Australian universities, we offer one of the most comprehensive health sciences related courses here in Monash. And of course, next up, our Faculty of Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Science. So they offer 2 degrees, essentially a Bachelor of Pharmacy and a Bachelor of Pharmaceutical Science. And essentially, this slide is to explain what is the difference between being a pharmacist versus being a pharmaceutical scientist. So essentially, with being a pharmacist, you're looking at, being a medicine expert. So you'll be working with, patients and healthcare teams. So you'll be looking more at the prescription of medication and also how the medication is then applied and used, okay, as a pharmacist. As compared to pharmaceutical scientists, you'll be looking at the back-end work. So it's not a front-facing client-type career. You'll be working in typically in a research lab, experimenting with medication, creating medicine, okay? That's what being a pharmaceutical scientist is all about. So, like I mentioned, we offer the 2 different degrees. So the Bachelor of Pharmaceutical Science is 3 years, and our Bachelor of Pharmacy is 4 years in duration. What's more unique is we are the first Australian university to actually offer a Bachelor of Pharmacy and Masters of Pharmacy, which is 5 years in duration. Now, you might ask, what's the difference between the 4 years Bachelor of Pharmacy versus the 5 years combined Bachelor and Masters? Essentially, the career outcome is the same. For students who complete the 4 years Bachelor of Pharmacy, you would then meet the requirement to apply for a 1-year internship here in Australia to practice as a pharmacist before you can officially register to become a pharmacist here in Melbourne, okay? But for students who complete the 4 years Bachelor of Pharmacy, when it comes to the internship, you will have to source for it and apply for it on your own. Okay, and the big difference between that versus the students who go into the 5th year Masters of Pharmacy is their internship places are sourced and allocated by the university, by your faculty. So you don't have to go out and source for that internship on your own. And at the end of the day, you also qualify, graduate with both a Bachelor and Masters during your 5 years of studies. So that's the main difference between the 2. And last but not least, our Faculty of Science. Yep, that's another big important area. So the main degree offered within the Faculty of Science is the Bachelor of Science, and it offers a whole range of double degrees with all the other 9 other faculties that I've previously mentioned to you. But what's more important is I want to show you the different types of specialization that students can pick within the Bachelor of Science degrees, because they do offer some of the more exciting areas that students should be considering, because it will give you a really good career outcome in the future. So one of the biggest growth area is obviously genetics and genomics, which we highly recommend students to consider. You can also pick a specialization in immunology, which is another big growth area, and also microbiology. So these are all different areas. With what's happening in the world with COVID, it has resulted in a very big push in graduates who have that kind of specific skill set. So that's definitely a big area that I will highly recommend you to consider as well, outside of the standard health sciences degree that I mentioned to you, and also the pharmacy degrees. Now we're back to the same slide. Okay. Well, the unique thing about Monash University as well is, besides being a university, we also have Monash College, which is our pathway providers. And among all the Australian group of 8 universities, Monash College offers the widest range of pathway options for our students. We offer a whole range of diploma studies. Typically, for HKDSE students, you don't have to apply for the Part 1 diplomas. All you need to do is apply for our Part 2 diplomas. For example, a diploma in business Part 2, the duration will be 8 months. The only exception is our engineering stream, which is 12 months, but all the other streams will be 8 months in duration. They are essentially equivalent to the first year of our undergraduate degrees, and in many cases, they allow you to then articulate into the second year of your bachelor degree upon completion. So for example, a student who misses out on the direct entry requirement into our Bachelor of Business, we can offer you the package with the Diploma of Business Part 2. So it's a 8 months course. Upon completion of that, you will then transfer into year 2 of the Bachelor of Business. So in total, it's still a 3 years duration. You don't lose any time at all. So that's definitely an interesting option to consider once your official DSE results are out. Okay, that concludes my presentations.
Okay, Justin, just got another question. Is that for the DSE student for the Part 2, okay, for the Part 2 of business, say, is it 14 marks, from the DSE for the best 5 subjects, or is it 14 or 15, any idea?
It's 14. So
14,
that's the general point for your best 5 subjects. We can have a quick look on the entry requirements while I'm up here. You guys can keep asking questions if you want to look it up. Okay. For business, I believe it's 14.
Should be 14, yeah.
Yeah, let's have a look. So Part 2, let me move this out of my screen so that I can see clearly. DSE, there you go. So it's either 13 or 14. Let's see. So Part 2 for Diploma of Arts, Diploma of IT, Diploma of Science, and Diploma of Arts and Design is 13 points. And for 14 points is required for Diploma of Applied Data Science, Diploma of Arts Psychology, students who want to package it up with a psychology degree, the Diploma of Business and Diploma of Engineering. Yeah.
And this is another question. Will Monash arrange the internship for the other health science courses?
So essentially, with many of our health sciences courses, we don't call them internship, they are called clinical placements. So in those cases, yes, clinical placement would be organized by the university, and it would be, essentially allocated to you. Typically, students will have 3 preferences. You can list down, and then they will try and accommodate according to your preferences. So all the, let me just go back to the slide. Science. Let me see this slide. Okay. So essentially, let's see. So the Bachelor of Medicine, Medical Science and Doctor of Medicine, yes, there will be compulsory clinical placement. So that would be sourced by the university. Nursing, definitely, there will be clinical placements that will be sourced by the university or your faculty. Same with nursing and midwifery, occupational therapy, paramedicine, physiotherapy, psychology, all have clinical placement, so they will be sourced by the faculty, and likewise with radiography and medical imaging, you will be allocated clinical placement by the faculty. And also, I forgot to mention, social work is part of this faculty at the master's level. This is the undergrad degree, that's why it's not listed. So at the master's level, students will enroll in the Masters of Social Work. The placement would be sourced by the university as well. For our other faculty courses, depending on which one you go into, if there is no clinical placements, there are internship opportunities. So the internship opportunities would typically be selected on a competitive basis. Yep. So you need to go through a selection interviews, to secure the job. So essentially the company choose who they want. Yep. We don't just then throw you in the cold and saying, you go and do the interview. The university and faculty provide a lot of support services to guide you and to get you up to speed with, how do you write and prepare a CV for Australian standard? How do you go for an interviews? What are the interview skills that you will need to do well in the interviews? So all these services are provided by the general Monash career services, and they're free, and they typically would conduct classes throughout the semester. And if you're interested, I encourage students to then attend those free classes as early as possible, because then it better prepares you when you go into year 2 and year 3 of your degree. That's when you typically start applying for internships.
Yes, thank you. Justin, you can see there's a question from Jack, talking about paramedic. So check it out. And then you just mentioned paramedic is a job growth of 30%. However, it seems that paramedics is in shortage of jobs, and many graduates are seeking jobs in UK instead. Any idea?
Not sure where Jack got that particular data from, because I know our graduates from the paramedicine degree typically would go on for full-time employment upon graduation. So in that respect, at least for Monash students, we haven't had any feedback that they're struggling to get a job in that area, because typically as part of their degree, they will need to go through clinical placements or placements with the relevant bodies, and typically that's where most of our graduates would end up upon completion. Oh, he just mentioned
from the website. Anyway. Okay.
Yeah, that could be a more overall general picture, but as far as I'm aware, there is a shortage though, based on our current situation with the COVID. And I can't see many of them being able to travel to the UK as well, because Australian border is still closed. So I think at this stage, it would be quite safe to say most of the students who graduate from this particular area will be looking at working within Australia until such time when the borders are open. Sometimes it could be because they're going to the UK because the salary packaging there is significantly higher than in Australia. That could be a reason, but I'll need to look into more details, in order to, be sure, where the article is sourced from. And with regards to scholarship, yes, we do offer quite a wide range of scholarships here in Monash. Typically, with many of the faculty scholarship is academic merit-based, which means the faculty would automatically award the scholarship to our top achieving students within their faculty. So that would be automatically assessed by the faculty. But having said that, there are several scholarships where students can submit a separate application for, and they will be selected on a competitive basis. So they look at, your academic results. They also look at, what have you done so far when you're during your studies. So they look at potential leadership abilities and skill set as well. Yep. Like one of the popular, let me see whether I have it on my screen. Okay, let's see. So there is a few scholarship offered by our Hong Kong alumni community. And I know this particular one is a full scholarship, and students will need to submit an application. I'm just trying to find the name of it. So we have the Hong Kong Alumni Scholarship. So all you have to do is go to our website. Let's see, that's the detail. Okay, it's called the KC Corp Scholarship. So that's one of these main scholarship, which is a full tuition fee scholarship. But other than this scholarship, I believe there's a few other smaller scholarship offered by our Monash Hong Kong Alumni Association. That's obviously specific to Hong Kong citizens. Outside of that, obviously, there's a whole range of other scholarships you can look for when you go onto our website and just search for scholarships, and then you can do a filtering on which other options that's available to you.
Justin, I got another question. Is that, for the Bachelor of Nursing, which is 3 years, so the IELTS is all 7. And I was asked, your guys will recognize the PTE, is it? Is it recognized or not, for the Bachelor of Nursing? Because some people told me that PTE is much easier than IELTS. Any idea?
Let me just do a quick check, just to be sure. I know for sure all students would need to submit
the IELTS 4.7.
Yeah, but whether we accept PTE, let me have a quick look on their website. That's the honors here. Yep, we do accept PTE. So PTE is overall 65, listening 65, reading 65, all band 65.
Yeah, everything 65, is it?
So any of these 3 requirements, so either an IELTS, a PTE, or a TOEFL IBT would be accepted. So it's up to students to decide which tests they would want to undertake. So if they they've received the feedback that PTE is easier to score, that's their option to decide whether they want to try taking PTE instead of IELTS.
Okay, this is another question I was asked by some students. Say if they got a bachelor in whatever science or business or art, if they want to do the master of OT, the master of occupational therapy. So normally, I was advised that they need to do some online program, which is 100% online, and you don't have to be physically in Australia. So on completion of that online human movement, something like that program, they have the chance to be accepted. Can you give me some more idea or information about that online?
Yeah, sure. So essentially, it's the Monash biology short course, which I can show you. Let's see, OT. So Masters of Occupational Therapy Practice.
Because if they miss the bachelor degree, some of them would like to have the chance to do the master, which is 2 years. And then we got many inquiries about that because they really want to get that qualification. So Oh, yeah.
So essentially, all we need in the entry requirement is an Australian undergraduate degree equivalent. So it can be any background with at least a high credit, 65% average. And students must, obviously, during your undergrad degree completed, human biology type subject unit so that you have that background. For students who don't, then as part of the assessment outcome, it will be stated on your offer letter that you'll be required to take the Monash Human Biology short course, which is 100% online course that you can enroll at any time. It's a self-study course. And once you have completed the course, then you provide, certificate of your completion. And then based on that, then you will be able to then enroll in this master's.
So it's a good idea if they really want to do the master, they should complete this online program, say, year 3 or year 2 here, actually in Hong Kong, before they get a bachelor degree. Is it a good idea to do it ASAP, or because I mean, if you finish the 4-year program and then you start doing that, it may be a bit rush. Is it good idea to do it ASAP?
It depends because this course only has one intake a year in July. So depending on when the students complete their undergrad degree, if there's still time for them to do the short course, then they can do it after they complete their bachelor degree. I do agree more with your suggestion to do it while they are in maybe year 3 of their degree, just because you are in that study frame of mind. You most probably would do better when you are still used to taking examination. But the moment you graduate, and if even if you briefly go into the workforce and start working, when you start doing the online course, you have to readjust yourself back into this frame of mind of studying. So it might be easier to pick up the unit while you are in the 3rd year of your degree, but it's not necessary. You can do it after you complete the degree as well. Many of our Hong Kong students who come into the masters typically do this short course after they have completed their bachelor degree. While they're waiting for the course to start, then they enroll in the course to make sure that they have the right prerequisites. Because then once you get offered a place, this short course is just an online course. So it's not like we will say you need to achieve 80%, in order to then enroll in the master's. It's just an online course. You just have to complete that course. Then you will be able to enroll. So what some students think is, I must well wait until I finish, make sure that I have the, 65% average required before, and once I get the conditional offer, then I take up the course. So we are flexible when it comes to this particular part. It's up to the student.
Okay, Justin, one final question, because the border is still closed. So we got some students from China. They have to start the program in Suzhou. I mean, one of your maybe campus in China. So if they start one semester in Suzhou in July, so if the border opens in February, they can always go to. If the visa is okay, the border open, they can go there, I mean, in February next year to continue with the 2nd semester of the year 1. Is that correct?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So for any students who commence in the Suzhou campus, you can essentially, once the borders are open, just discontinue your studies at Suzhou campus, and then just inform us that you want to transfer over to the Melbourne campus, and make sure then obviously you need to then accept the offer for the Melbourne campus, and admissions will then issue the COE. And they can then process their student visa to come over to Australia. And whatever subjects that they completed in the Suzhou campus and they obtain, a pass, or they pass the subject, essentially, they will get the credits as well when they come over here to Melbourne. We're quite hopeful that Hong Kong will be one of the first country, and China as well, that the government would allow students to return from, just purely because, essentially it's all about the risk factor of letting international students back into Australia, and the likelihood of, the students having, COVID and then spreading it to the general public, so it's more of a general public health concern. So we are very sure when they do eventually open the borders, it will be more, initially, it will be more on a trial basis, and they will be using countries like Hong Kong, China, where the COVID has been controlled really well. So yeah, I'm very confident, Hong Kong and China will be one of the first few countries that we will allow students to return. So we're hopeful. South Australia has just been approved by the federal government to allow international students to return from July, which is happening in a couple of weeks' time. We hope, there's no outbreak and they will be able to proceed. The Victorian government has put in a proposal to the Australian federal government to actually allow 120 international students to return each week from July. That was pending approval until very recently. We had a small outbreak here in Melbourne, so that put everything on pause. But now that, we have managed to, control that outbreak and it's back down to zero, we will push the federal government to allow us to do that. But obviously the initial priority is to allow currently enrolled students who are still overseas to come back and finish their qualifications. And then the next step, obviously from next year onwards, would be any new commencing students, would be prioritized to come in as well. So yeah, things are moving in the right direction. Let's put it that way. So we are hopeful, and yeah, I'm keeping a positive frame of mind that we will be able to, welcome all our students back onto the campus soon. Yeah.
Hope you're right, and then we can see more Hong Kong students, Chinese students back to Melbourne, Australia, ASAP. Okay, Justin. So this brings to the end of our section. So really, thank you very much for your time, and then we hope we can catch up with you later. Thank you very much.
Yes, Justin. Absolutely. Thanks, Gary. Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.